That Mars-Saturn conjunction in all its intensity right now, which is cool. So we'll talk just a little bit this morning, and then we'll go into our sharing this side of the room, archetypical experiences, and maybe focus people there on the internet. So the lucidity of awareness, the light of awareness, is experienced directly through the doorway of our own subjectivity. Even Husserl would say, what is the wonder of all wonders? Pure awareness. And the doorway is our own subjectivity. This innermost awareness. We'll pause there for a moment. So as we gaze, and to gaze you don't need your eyes open, and they can be open, but as we gaze into our own interiority, that open spaciousness, we can experience, slowly but surely, through time, the unfolding of the manifestation of this field of radiance and this lucidity of awareness, this illumination, this invisible field of luminous knowingness. It's actually knowingness. And it becomes experientially visible, felt, known, even seen. Lucidity of phenomena. Experientially visible means seeing the flashes of light, or sensation of light, experiencing the presence of the radiance within us and beyond us. Experiencing the presence, Experiencing the presence of the radiance means feeling the luminous experience of light, feeling that experience. And feeling the energy, the chi, the shakti of the light. In everything and in anything. In anyone and everyone. And as we experience the visibility, this becoming visible the invisible becoming visible. And visible doesn't simply mean sight, It means a perceptual and experience. It doesn't simply mean sight. Can be sight, but to each their own, As we experience the visibility of this luminous knowingness within us, as us, and it's in us as us, It's not someone else, this who, as Saitita would talk about, the who. So we're empowered to experience this manifestation of lucidity within the appearance of phenomena. Phenomena within us, as us, and phenomena around us. Lucidity is not only within us, but within all phenomena. All appearance has lucidity, and all appearance is lucidity, in that famous Dzogchen statement. Lucidity, appearance, lucidity unto itself. All phenomena are the manifestation of this primordial radiance. When we're experiencing the radiance of phenomena, our inner light is meeting the outer light, and thus there's one indivisible light. It says in the Yeshe Lama, the inner yin meets the outer yin. In truth, there's only primordial luminous radiance that is manifesting both our mind, my mind right now, your mind, this innermost awareness, and this embodiment, as well as this infinitely vast, universal context of phenomena that were placed in time and space. Our capacity, this innate capacity, to experience the radiance of the field of awareness within our own embodied subjectivity, embodiedness, opens for us the ability to gaze into the subjectivity of all phenomena. Actually, Taisita was hinting at this, using his own cogyuthing about this capacity to experience into the openness, the subjectivity of all phenomena, that space opening up. So from the gaze into our own subjectivity arises this intersubjective, to use that type of a gaze, that is direct inside to inside. If we should pair up right now, let's just pair up right now. Just move without leaving. Pair up right now. Just turn. You just turn. Don't, but stay focused. Don't go into your mind too much. So from gazing into our own subjectivity, which is our own innate awareness, right, arises this intersubjective gaze, allows us to experience the luminous openness of all phenomena and contexts. That everything, not at first glance, but as we are in this awareness and in this and experience this openness, luminous openness, it easily turns into an intersubjective state. The intersubjective gaze, Martin Buber would call it the I-thou, Nothing's new here. Opens the innermost openness of all phenomena. Subjectivity is the openness of our being, capital B-I-N-G, to being itself within all beings. So I experience the being, B-E-I-N-G, within me. The door is open to experience the being within all beings. And As Dzogchen Rinpoche would often say, understanding helps us do this. Practice is great, but if you practice without understanding, you may find yourself practicing the same thing over and over and over repetitiously. But understanding and practice go together. Embodiment. Embodiment. Most importantly, this gaze is not simply through our eyes alone, but this gaze is embodied. Do you feel that right now? The embodiment of the gaze as our luminous awareness permeates our body, permeates our embodiment. We just finished doing Qigong, right? And much of the beginning of Qigong is opening up the perception of the field, huh? A lot of times we're in this world, we never experience the field. The fascia's closed, and we're not organized in the embodiment, perceiving through the body. So all those little gestures you're making, moving like in water, is to open up our perception of the field. Say yes if you understand that. And then with the field becoming more and more intense and the transmissions that are taking place, it is easier then to receive the perceptions, then feel your own agency in generation of the light and the energy. But this gazing is embodied as our luminous awareness permeates our body and permeates our embodiment. That's why learning to extend this awareness through our bodies and into the embodies of others opens the door. Our sense of pervasive embodiment of the radiance opens us to the translucid-like resonance and attunement within the field of being within all beings. So as I open to this radiance, this energia within my own body, this presence, this pulsation, this aliveness, and I'm opening to it through resonance and through attunement, it's actually the subtlety is allowing me to experience this beingness of my own being and the beingness of being of others. And in truth, being itself is the Dharmakaya, capital B-E-I-N-G, because being is not a thing. And as I'm experiencing the beingness of my own being, there is no thingness in that whatsoever. Say yes if you understand that. Say no if you don't. So our method of gazing is gazing both within and gazing without simultaneously. We gaze into the field of being of our own being, and we gaze from within into the field of being within all beings. Our leaping into the field of being as light is the most direct and immediate method of experiencing non-duality within the duality of the appearing of phenomena. Dzogchen Lingpa says that. This is Togel, actually, what they're talking about here. Our leaping into the field of being as light is most direct and immediate method of experiencing non-duality within duality of the appearing of phenomena. So rather than the appearing of phenomena here being a block, and sometimes we'll go into the Mahamudra and how they do complement each other on this issue of appearing of phenomena, but from this point, the appearing of phenomena is not a block, but a doorway into the beingness of that being itself. Say yes if that's making sense to you. So some of this stuff is getting beyond blocks of mind. Once you are both gazing within and gazing through your whole sense of embodiment of the energy and the light in the field of phenomena and into the innermost radiance of the openness of the appearance of phenomena. The openness of the appearance of phenomena. You know, often as we first go inside, what you experience is nothingness. At least that's my experience. There's nothingness. By nothingness, I don't mean no thingness. I mean nothingness, right? Empty shoe, empty head, empty box. You with me? But then you hang out with that, and then it begins to open, and reveal itself. Or if I look around in the room, we look around in the room and we see a chunk of things, right? You look around, all these things, just one group of things. But as we stay gazing, then the thingness begins to resolve into the being itself manifesting. Say yes if that makes sense to you, right? We've all had these experiences. So the gazing is both source and result. Most of these things are both source and result. The medium is the result, right? There's no extrinsic result to any of this. So the very drama of gazing increases the experiments of the light. So the very drama of gazing, like when you're doing Qigong, even right now, you're gazing into your compadre there, your companion. You're gazing into her, you're gazing into him. Full-bodied gaze. Open gaze. And the very drama, and it is a drama, of gazing increases the experience of the embodiment of the light. And the embodiment of the light increases our experience of the gaze. So most of this is circular. The experience of gazing, spending my time gazing, whole body, gazing into you all right now, then that increases my embodiment of the light. Say yes if that feels true to you. But say yes if it does. Because you want to confirm your own experience mentally, that it's just not a passing through stuff. All kind of stuff passes through and we just miss it. So the unfolding process of embodiment of the light is a function of the natural process of embodying what is luminously being experienced. And what is great about this embodiment doesn't simply depend on the health of your body. You with me? It's enhanced by the health of the body, but it doesn't simply depend on the health of the body. If we think it depends on the health of our body, then you better die well. Get executed. You follow what I mean by that, huh? So, yes. You don't? Okay. You ever been sick? What happens to the body of light when you're sick? Huh? It's hard to hold on. It disappears. So you don't want to have it contingent on wellness, even in your own mind. And we've all been with people I've been people who are dying, and their body of light is so strong in them. You with me? And even Yen Chin would say, you cannot be sure about your health just because of the body, of the energy and the light you're feeling. It really is good to go to doctors and get tested. It is one of the greatest Qigong masters of all. You really can't tell. You see? There's a certain vitalness you have, even at the moment of death. The vital energy is there. And you have that a lot with people, huh? Now, so embodiment of the light is a practice of gazing, just like we're doing right now with the entire body, and extending and leaning in. The open gaze. Through the open gaze of the radiance of awareness. So this open gaze, and that means with my whole body gazing. We can gaze into the immediacy of a situation. Huh? Immediacy of a situation. We can gaze into the immediacy of persons. And into the immediacy of whatever is becoming manifest. So even in time we can start timing into and start experiencing the manifestation of phenomena. We can feel the manifestation of events, right? We can feel the manifesting of what's happening and coming up, right? Say yes if you feel that. In time and through time, it's always in time and through time, we can also gaze further and deeper into the openness of all phenomena. So we can gaze further and deeper the openness phenomena of my own embodiment, and the openness of phenomena of situations, we can start to go deeper. Start going beyond the Manakaya, and we start to feel the opening of the archetypical underbelly of everything and anything. We can gaze in the most ordinary phenomena of everyday moments and experience the translucidity of the event. Perhaps you're feeling right now the translucidity. Translucidity means the light is around us, through us. It's translucidity. It's not just lucidity. It's translucidity. It's a really very good word. The translucidity of the event. That was easily experienced over the weekend. Huh? And we can feel the manifestation of the primordial light as a singular event in time and space. Also, you can experience the singularity of an event. This event is taking place right now, and you can feel the manifestation of the event and the dissolving of the event. Say yes if you've had that experience. We can, in time and through time, enter. So we're entering into it, huh? Like entering into the door. Enter into the experiencing of the unfolding of the indeterminate into the determined singularity of the moment. So there's always this range of experiencing indeterminacy becoming determinate. Yes, I'm going to place my finger on this microphone. Yes, I'm going to this place. At that moment, determination starts to come from potentiality, from indeterminate state. The problem with feeling free is its indeterminateness. And the more you and I have OCD, right, which we all do, the fixated mind, right? There's a great Dzogchen master named Pema Rinpoche would say, it's the fixated mind. We all have fixated minds, right? But we go to fixatedness for security, and yet the very fixatedness does what to freedom? It undoes indeterminacy. Is indeterminacy a comfortable thing? Not for yours truly. Is it for you? Is indeterminacy comfortable? Really? So indeterminacy. And some of the yogis like Longchenpa was constantly having to move with his teacher because he always wanted to create the feeling of indeterminacy, always from not easy. You guys following this right now? The range of indeterminacy to determinacy within our own self. These are things that when you're working with your own awareness, you notice. Is this an indeterminate moment? Can I feel the possibility of indeterminateness arising, even though the situation is completely fixated? Huh? Moreover, on even a more subtle level of appearing, we can gaze into the archetypical dimension of phenomena, which may be manifesting within our apparitional view of existingness as the realm of luminous elementalness, the elements, and the intensity of vortexualness, and the sacredness of the luminous divine presence manifesting. And last week, we were describing that. Part of our room was describing as our perception shifted from ordinary perception into the apparitional view. You start seeing the apparition, the gods, the deities, devas, dakinis, the energy, the light, the vortexes. Say yes if that makes sense to you, okay? But at that point, because our perception, our awareness is a multi-dimensional perception. And sometimes we're just in the perception of our mind at the very top of the little flagpole. You with me? And then slowly but surely it opens. Sometimes we see the luminous presence. Some of us see the luminous presence. Huh? Some of us sense the luminous presence. Some of us are seers. Some of us are sensors. Some of us may simply feel. It's a feeling. And I don't mean simply an affect, but we feel it. We feel the luminous presence. And some, we simply know the luminous presence, like gnosis is knowing. And a great Rongchampa, a great thing would say, there's gnosis of the mind, and there's gnosis of awareness, huh? And so the gnosis of awareness influences the mind. So sometimes we start seeing, feeling, sensing, even smelling. Sometimes some of us smell the arising of the presence, huh? And some simply know directly the luminous presence. And still, even more and more subtle, more and more subtle, we can gaze even deeper or more subtle or further into this awareness, going into the root, which is the luminous darkness. Actually, it's blue, but it's so blue, it's dark. You with me? It's actually blue, but it's so blue, it is darkness of potential space. Space is blue, radiant blue, of pure, unbound consciousness, knowingness. The luminous Tromanagmo, to use this language, the dark mother, Kali, to use the metaphors of the archetype, of everything and anything. And in this experience, at this level, there's neither experience nor experiencer. There's knowingness as potentiality. And the unfolding of potentiality is limitless. So there's a certain dimension where there is no experience and there's no experience, but there is knowingness. In the pure Dharmakaya, which is pure potentiality. Now we can experience the Dharmakaya through Nirmanakaya and through Sambhogakaya. It's all Dharmakaya, the expanse of the Dharmakaya. But in the Dharmakaya itself, so Nirmanakaya is no longer there, Sambhogakaya is there, just pure Dharmakaya. There's no experience, because there's no experiencer, because you are only in potentiality. And everything about you and I are in complete potentiality, but not the actuality. The Dharmakaya is the actuality of potentiality without it being actuated, right? It's an actuality. It is an actuality of potentiality. I remember one time a Lama saying, everything is completely there in potential. All there, you know? Timelessness beyond time and beyond place. This is existingness without existence. This is knowingness without knower and known. It's knowingness. It is gnosis without knower and known. This is being without beings. There's a Heideggerian, but it's also a phenomenological. Being without beings. We always experience being through beings. But being itself is the manifestation of beings. So as our being dissolves back into being itself, we are then being itself. And then, at the right time, potentiality activates us again. That's how I understand past life. My being is dissolving back into potentiality. Hasta la vista, baby. And then that potentiality activates again. Hey, back again. C'est moi. And back again. You with me? That's really mysterious. Potentiality of singularity, huh? This is being without beings. Being, which is not a this or a that. Dharmakaya. Say yes if that's opening something for you. Yes. Togao is the gazing methods of Dzogchen. Togao is the practice of gazing within the translucidity of the Nirmanakaya. If you and I gain translucidity of the Nirmanakaya, we have wisdom in our ordinary life. And translucidity of Sambhogakaya, we have the wisdom of the archetypal realm, huh? And the luminous darkness of Dharmakaya dimension of existingness. Now, through the ongoing gazing experience, we experientially embody the luminous dimensions of the three realms of awareness, becoming the embodiment of luminous awareness, which is that which we are. And our gaze becomes multidimensional and is infinite in its horizons, both vertically and horizontally. Togel is the gazing method of Dzogchen. Togel is the practice of gazing within the... we said it already. Okay. The luminous conjunctio, almost done. Are you in the conjunctio right now? With your companion? The luminous conjunctio. And around the conjunctio there's lots and lots of difficulties. We can, within our unfolding of our open focus of awareness, and within this gaze of embodied attunement to the three different kayas, or three different dimensions we experience, we start to experience the directness of embodied luminosity and translucidity happening. It starts to happen. And radiance is the swift path of awareness and is the swift path of the translucidity of indivisibleness. Are you experiencing it right now, that with your companion? Do you feel it now? Say yes if you are.
Yes.
Most surprisingly, the luminous conjunctio with another human being, or I should also say absolute pets also, quite the same, animals. Most surprising, the luminous conjunctio with another human being opens the unfolding of the multi-leveled different dimensions of primordial awareness or ground. Most surprisingly, the luminous conjunctio with another human being or a companion animal as companion, opens the unfolding of the multi-leveled different dimensions of primordial awareness or ground awareness. Now I'm saying that, but I bet you most of you guys don't even believe that still. I bet you don't really believe it. I bet we'd like to believe it, but to actually believe it, but by believe it I mean to really feel the primordial yes, that really this is in my pocket, more or less, that I really have confidence in this. You with me? And then you can feel what obscures that for you. You with me? It'll often be certain obscurations. So when they talk about obscurations, they mean certain historical experience and sentiments and assumptions obscure this experience. And that's where you cut through it. You really have to cut through those assumptions and obscurations. Most surprisingly, the luminous conjunctio with another human being opens the unfolding of the multi-leveled different dimensions of primordial awareness or ground. And even when you read many of these ancient texts, okay, if you do any of this stuff, these tantras, the mysterious conjunctio is often slanted towards a sexual state, a sexual union. And this is not against sexuality, you with me? In any of its various forms. Meing and meing, heing and heing, sheing and sheing, me and sheing, them and us, those and us, me and it, whatever. There's a whole range, okay? But what happens is, as Namkhai Naba said, if you can have sex and being in the awareness field, you don't have to have sex to be in the awareness field. Because there's an assumption when you read consorts and things like that it's primarily a sexual thing. You guys follow what I'm saying? And it undercuts the conjunctio in its relational format. Say yes if you hear what I'm saying here. Why would I be saying this right now? Why would you think I'd be saying this? Any ideas? Sure, you have some opinions. Jeff.
You could get stuck.
You could get stuck?
You could get fixated, you could get identified, you could get stuck.
Yes, and you could not find the perfect consort too. You with me? Who has certain type of geographical configurations. You with me? Excuse me, may I look around for a few moments? This is true. if you know this, any of this literature and experience, right? Right? We get stuck. Anybody else want to say, why? Why do you think this happens historically? Happens historically. There's a distraction and a configuration of sexuality that organize. That's why that text I wanted you guys to read. I've been last time on the Dakini things, and it started organizing functions so compellingly, and then when you institutionalize that drama too, you with me? So I'm the guru, and so you guys are going to please the guru. You with me? And you're going to get certain blessings, and there's all sorts of mixtures and admirations that go around this. That was actually, many battles were fought over in the history of Tibetan Buddhism by the great lamas from Longchenpa, and many others had to challenge this frame. You with me? And then you can go to the opposite, because a lot of this was a reaction because of the harsh anti-libidinal frame of the earliest Vedic and the earliest Buddhist teachings. You with me? Disembodiment, not this, not that, no desire, none of this whatsoever, only for a certain few people. And so when you start having that type of criticalness, then you start having this vast reaction against that. And you start having a losing of balance in this whole question. Raise your hands if you're understanding this, okay? Yes, it was an anti-libidinal frame out of which the body is bad, and the Gnostics, certain forms of the Gnostics also were compelled to this, and certain forms of the Gnostics not. I want to see how this priest works this out, because certain forms of the Gnostics were not this way, and certain forms of the Gnostics were this way, and certain forms of the Orthodox Church would blame this on the Gnostics as a way of trying to dispel the Gnostics. You with me? So this whole question of sexuality arises, of course it arises throughout the history of human experience, and it will always have, at some time or other, a sadomasochistic component. Yes, Mr. Trump. he's a not. You follow what I'm saying here? So this takes place in humiliation, and the more there's a split between male and female understanding and the conjunctio, the more there's a split within me of the feminine element, the more there will be a sadomasochistic component in my personality, or the masculine element. That's why it's the union of the elements gives liberation to a lot of this. A-okay? I want to understand this. So, continuing on here. Most surprisingly, amazingly, the luminous conjunctio with another human being or beings opens the unfolding of the multi-level different dimensions of primordial awareness or ground awareness. There is this opening of being within the ordinary experience of Nirmanakaya and the archetypical dimension of Sambhogakaya, and the experience of our foundational condition, or our real condition, as the Dharmakaya dimensions of the light of potentiality, pure potentiality. This is a direct way of experiencing within the radiant praxis of Togao in a contemporary time and place. And this is the path of the city dweller. I'm making this up, of course. The luminous life, the mystical life of the crowd. You ever see how crowded things are? Crowd on the highways, all this stuff. So if you try and get away from it, you never will. Okay? The classical Dzogchen method is sky gazing, using 3 different gazes and 3 different postures. In the Dzogchen, there are many empowerments for gazing, such as the flight of the Garuda and golden spoon. That's ones that people were given here, right? There's a cutting through phenomena, which is the method of opening up the phenomena to experience the light of phenomena, or just open it, as well as the method of leaping through the embodiment of the light, actually leaping through each other. And these are called cutting through and leaping into respectively. These sky gazing methods are the luminous path of nature. This is not against nature, and it's totally valuable and useful, but we're not always in nature. You follow this? Intersubjective resonance. Rather than gazing at the sun or the moon or the sky, which is great when you can, we gaze within each other through the radiance of awareness and through the extension of awareness. And through the light of awareness, self-liberation arises naturally. The gaze is not with eyes alone, but the whole embodiment, our embodied gaze. And this is best exemplified by the archetypical image of Avalokiteshvara, with his 1,000 eyes pervasive throughout his body. The inner light of the body resonating, experiencing, and viewing the light of embodied awareness within one's own body, and the light within the embodiment of others, and even the embodiment of the light as things and as objects. So even things and objects. So there's a whole issue. It's not just human beings, but things themselves. If you can open yourself to the embodiment of the light of a thing, a painting, a car, a vase. Someone just gave me a beautiful stone, and you experience it with your whole body. The light of awareness liberates us in that moment. Dzogchen is a metaphor of Rigpa, which is becoming aware of awareness. This is also a metaphor of later Heideggerian phenomenology. Later Heideggerian phenomenology is a phenomenology of the embodiment of the light, and this phenomenology uses both cutting through phenomena, opening it up, and gazing, which is gazing through the light of phenomena, the light of inherent within phenomena, within all space. Just like you want to feel the space inherent in phenomena, you're experiencing the light inherent within phenomena, not just our own self. Gazing within to within is a full embodied gaze. This is co-emergent experience of the co-emergent gaze. It is co-emergent, isn't it, huh? That is part of the trick of it. It doesn't have to be co-emergent, but actually the co-emergence is the most direct way. Even with babies and children, it's co-emergent. Winnicott would go into describing this so eloquently. First of all, using the Madonnas, the Renaissance Madonnas. And you can see the Madonna over there, and the Madonna and Child, where you had this powerful gaze that opened up people to the divine light, and this union of the mother and child, the mysterious conjunctio. And through that gaze, that embodied gaze. And as the mother gazes into the baby, that is how awareness awakens in the baby, in the sense of gnosis and sense of self awakens in the baby by its being met and held and supported by the gaze. So the gaze just isn't two little eyes piercing, penetrating into you, thinking, one day you will be president of the United States, little Trumpo, okay? I lack something into my personality. I just do. But I like it. I like the lack. So anyway, so the gaze is a gaze that permeates both beings. The gaze is the field holding both from the very beginningness of beginningness. You know? That's why it's fake when we consider that there's a separateness between spirituality and humanness, or it's something you have to have a special awakening for. It's awakened in the very beginning, right? You don't have to believe any of this, of course. So rather than gazing at the sun or the moon or the sky, we gaze within each other through the radiance of awareness and through the extension of awareness. And through the light of awareness, self-liberation arises. Gazing is not with eyes alone, but our whole embodiment, our embodied gaze. This is the best exemplified by the arc we did already. So gazing is within to within, is a full embodied gaze. This is a co-emergent experience of the co-emergent gaze. In the language of Christianity, this is the beatific vision, the vision of the light gazing into the light. So maybe we should stop at this point. Next we'll talk about the body of the light, luminous flesh, the body is the medium of the field, things we know. But I'm going through this because I really want to prepare us a bit more for when Father Tiso comes, that we're up on our light stuff. So let's see where we're at. Let's share archetypical experience, okay? Can you make the little jump? There we go. I'm going to pass you a mic, okay? How are you doing right now? What's happening for you right now?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Um,
What does great mean?
well, you know, it's interesting when you talk about the archetypical realm because I still hold that as a kind of visual realm.
As a visual, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not really a visual in that way, yeah. So I think I need to speak to it from an energetic point of view.
Fantastic. You just helped at least 40% of us.
But I feel less than, you know, than those people who see these things.
So let's just hang out with that a moment.
So
Okay.
it's interesting.
Are you a kinesthetic person?
Very, very much so.
What do you do for your living?
I use my kinesthesia for my living every day. And in my profession, yes.
Would you consider just for a moment that if the archetypical dimension is going to manifest, it's going to manifest through kinesia?
Absolutely. And when the very first time I hit the basement here in the Gestalt training program, I came home. I mean, the fact that my body was honored and my senses and my sensuality and all of that was included was such a homecoming for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're helping articulate a fundamental obscuration for many of us. You with me? That we think if we don't see it, that apparitional, it's very visual. The language is very visual. You with me?
Yes.
And yet experientially, it is not necessarily visual at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Do you ever hear the phrase, a kiss is just a kiss?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And just stay with that. You feel that arising, huh? And so how are you, how a person like you, who's very kinesthetic, let's lean into her for a moment. Let's feel her. We're going to lean into you. Now just notice what happens as you lean into her with your perception, your body. What happens in you as you lean into Diana? Who's a great goddess, by the way, in Greece. The huntress. What happens as you lean into her? Would someone mind describing? Carol, what happens as you lean into Diana? I use two microphones.
As one kinesthetic person to another, I feel the rise of energy and molecularity of it as it rises up from
Right, just stay with that. As you feel the rise of molecularity and energy, you with me? Do you feel how deep it goes? Can you feel like the sword? Can you feel the opening up there? And how it opens and opens?
Yes. It goes down into the earth, and it widens out and just very spherically.
Yes. Spheres. S-P-H-E-R-E-S. Vortexes is the archetypical dimension. When we were doing the archetypical stuff, the Sambhogakaya, the people that week, 2 weeks, very few people had any apparitions whatsoever. So the Sambhogakaya dimension is not simply visions. How are you doing right now?
I'm doing very well. I mean, it's a very rich environment. It's just, I think, very personal.
It's very, very personal.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll say this. There's a very wonderful person who writes about this between the autocentric and allocentric perception.
Mm.
And I remember, I forget his name, very famous.
A phenomenologist?
He's a phenomenologist. It was in New York.
Abrams?
Huh?
Abrams? Or
Abrams picks this up, but this is a person from New York, was an attorney, became an analyst, but he was absorbed in perception. And he also wrote a book on creativity. But allocentric, so if I'm seeing the apparition, or say I'm seeing the Divine Mother, okay? It's a little bit more out there, because the apparition will be a little bit more out there, even if it's in here, it's out there. If I'm experiencing this vortex is arising in me, it's going to be more autocentric, more sensuous. You with me?
Yeah.
It's more autocentric. It's more direct. It is closer. So many, many times when people are experiencing the allocentric perceptions, like Holy Mary Mother, Holy Mother Mary, which also Rinpoche sang that yesterday from the Beatles, as an example of the manifestation of primordial awareness in our life. Remember that he sang that, those who were there? And so that is an apparitional thing, but it's ultimately our own awareness manifesting in that form of perception. So many times when people see that apparition, what takes place? The apparition keeps coming closer and closer into them till it becomes them directly. Raise your hands if you know that. Okay? So there is the implication of Mary being otherness. You with me? She is otherness, but she is also you as an archetypical manifestation of you. She's both otherness and both you simultaneously. What's it like to know that? What's it like to know that, Fran?
When I experience that, it's like, it's not that I don't have a body, but it's like my body feels like the whole universe.
Pass this down to Fred. Fred, would you mind saying that? So it's not like your body then starts to do what? Thanks, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
It's not that my body disappears, but it's like my body fills up the whole universe.
Yes.
And there's this feeling of perfect safety and joy, like really like an exquisite, it's a sensual joy. It's like a feeling in my body that is more exquisite than anything else, any other
So
physical
as that
sensation.
emerges, as the archetypical dimension emerges, there's a feeling of safety. Rinpoche also spoke about that yesterday, Tai Sito, and whatever day that was. There's a feeling of safety, and that safety doesn't mean you don't have to protect situations, protect people, but there's a lack of vulnerability. Yes, say more, Fran.
It's like we're all perfectly safe. That where everyone is safe within this, and no one is vulnerable.
So when you have the practice of extending your awareness, and if you have the good grace of having the archetypical dimension close to you, and you extend that to people, no matter what they're going through, it opens up the possibility of that person feeling safe, a mysterious safeness in the most horrific of experiences. You with me? And you've heard people describe going through the most terrible and suddenly this vast amount of safety arises even on the way out. So let's see here. Let's pass this to, did you share last week? Good, pass it, great. Well, you weren't here last week, right? Yeah. That's probably great, 'cause I'm trying to get people who didn't share last week. So
Okay.
you have life in the archetypical lane, don't you?
It's true.
I wanted to share an experience that I had with gazing,
Okay.
and this whole talk, your whole talk was like completely explain what I've been experiencing
Describing it.
lately. So, you know, we've all been practicing gazing for a long time. 10 years or something, I think, since we went down to the field and Rinpoche was here, gave the empowerment, which
I remember that.
I'm very grateful for. Anyway, so this weekend I would have been in Wappinger Falls, but my health is, you know, does its own thing, and so I had an opportunity to just sit and gaze, and so I was trying to figure out what did I want to say about this that would capture, you know, the most valuable point, because it's so amazing to me, because you know what you said about the understanding is of the gazing experience, the practice is really it. So, you know, so I just want to describe my experience, and then I'll just say a couple things about it.
Great. This is really great. Huh?
Okay. So normally, you know, I sit and I wait. I've been doing this since I was a kid, but just waiting for the display of the light, and you know, the pinpoints of light, the tiglays, and the swirling, and the play of the light, just moving in the atmosphere and moving in space. It was very, very vital and amazing how the amount of light that was in my awareness. And then I noticed that there was a new dimension of this swirling smoke, this gray swirling smoke coming, you know, in, and it was twirling in and weaving itself in and out of the sparkles of brilliant diamonds and lights. And and then it was so playful and so buoyant. The bliss in my body was so buoyant and intense and invasive in my body. Invasive is not probably the word, but I just started to giggle and laugh with it. It was bouncing me, it was in me, and it was outside, and it was this dimensionality experience of light and bliss and love, and it was a gift. I just want to say that pure potential space is a gift, not in a small cheek kind of definition of a gift, but it's gift. It's about opening. It's like the whole thing is about this vast opening, and just opening and reopening and continuing to open even after the light drops. It comes back up again. So you just have to stay with it, in this like weird health thing I've been going through. I have drops, and then I learned from this time. I'm learning so much that the light comes back up again, and it's all a play. And it just so what I want to say is just for me was keep practicing the gaze, because the archetype of this pure potential space and light is you, is in me, and it's just completely co-emergent. I don't know what else to say right now.
Thank you so much. And the way you articulate this, and if we lean into you and feel you as you're talking, that gift is coming through you into us. And I feel and know that you're actually in a truly fruitional phase of your life. You with me? And it's unfolding in this exquisite fruitional way. And it's really good to know that when it's taking place, that there's a fruitionalness taking place. You with me? And that kind of ownership, that kind of boldness, you with me, is necessary to hold the gift. You with me? To receive the gift that's being given, to hold it. You don't, as you.
Yeah.
It's really a bold movement. Totally cool.
Yeah. Mary being here was inspirational too.
Great. She holds it. She takes
Yeah.
it. So I love what's happening for you, and I love how you're writing and articulating your experience, and and how you articulate. There's a specificity that's completely you, but how you articulate it. The felt sense of you comes into us, you know? And that coming into each other is essentially what human beings are. Matorsham talked about this the last Saturday we had him on, with how human beings come into each other. And it's coming up right now. We come into each other, we come into each other, we partake of each other. It's like food. There's also an Upanishad, the word is food. So when you're talking, you're coming in as food to us. You with me? And what you're giving is like food and this luminous nourishment.
Mm-hmm.
And that is really total great.
And the other thing was that it's relational. The relational quality of me with the light.
With the light. It is a
The light relates to me, and I relate to the light in whoever comes in front. The people, the places, the animals, the whatever. So that blew it wide open, and it's just the openness closes and opens, but even in the closing, the potential of opening is there.
The abasa, the Shiva, it opens, closes, opens. But you are now in the potential is now so overt that it's easily accessible. It's
Thank
okay.
you. Thank you.
Great. I'm so happy for you. I appreciate your sharing and articulating your experience. Okay, Mimi, did you share? Welcome. How's the... What's happening? Archetypally. Archetypically. And what I love about this is the most ordinary group of people I've ever met. It is. This is one ordinary group. You with me? And as soon as someone thinks it's not ordinary, there's a delusion taking place. You with me? Trump. Anyway, but we're all ordinary. And that this can take place for us as ordinary people is really even better than if we were extraordinary. Continue, I'm sorry. What's happening?
Well, there's always something happening. It's always something happening. Just depends on whether I kind of want to see it, or feel it, or be with it.
Or be with it.
You know?
Be in it.
Be in it, you know? Because it's always there. It's not. I remember hearing a teaching, and it was the lion's gaze, and it's about view, meditation, and action. And that view is, to me, what is so important. I just had surgery, and, I'm not feeling so good, blah, blah, blah. But the field, it was like I knew the field was still there, whether I was in the pain or the disorientation on the physical. It was still there, and what I'm capturing, it seems like lately, is that I know it's there, even if I don't access it in the same way. So I think that
is true knowledge, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's comforting.
And it's comfort.
It's like, okay, I know, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's where I am.
Let's stay with this. What's it like to know that you are a knower? I like it. A knower. That you know that constipated?
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing how it just takes over the field, right?
Yeah, it's like, ouchie.
Ah, gee.
Ew, uncomfortable. Ooh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, well, I guess I'm just going to say this. In my life, I haven't always felt as though I'm smart. Like, in a, in an academic way. And what this wisdom does is it's beyond smart, but the knowing is a wisdom without the egoic attachment to being smart. And so there's like a resting that I don't have to try so hard. So
Isn't that great?
yeah.
Are you there now?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to lean into you at this moment, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Just you knowing that. What's it like to have all of us lean into you knowing that? What's it like to experience us leaning into you and you knowing that?
More space. More like freedom to relax into this physical form in the field.
What's it like relaxing, capturing into the physicalness of the field as the field?
To me, that's bliss. It's an even openness. It's not excitement. It has a full resting, spacious, known quality.
I'll ask you one more question. Do you like extending this knowingness to another person when it's possible? Do you like extending that knowingness, just that knowingness to someone else?
Yeah, it's what I live for.
That,
It's what I live for.
that is
That-
so cool.
That's it.
So cool.
That's to me what
That's
my life is about.
That is perfect right there. Will you sit with that? Now that you know that also, you've got that other side, you got both sides. What's it like to have both? Just that you actually know both.
Know both the
That and that you
oh, and that
giving it. That you have a capacity to give that knowingness that you have.
I guess I'm with that in a little bit different way.
Okay, where are you with that?
I'm with it as the knowing exists for all of us, all the time, everyone. I've had great fortune and desire to be with this wisdom and knowing. And so when I come upon anyone, I feel that knowing, that desire that is me, is what may kind of spark a light or a flame in someone else. And then that flame maybe recognized and brought forward. So I guess I see.
Would you consider what you're just describing is the actual essence of the bodhisattva? I really mean that. That is the essence of the bodhisattva. Because we think it all kind of outfits, but
Yeah.
really, that directly is the bodhisattva posture as well.
Yeah. Yeah. There's all kinds of flavors of bodhisattva. You can be cutting somebody's head off and you're a bodhisattva, you know.
What
So
about
this flavor is sometimes I slap people up. No, this is it is a. I think it is a quality of the bodhisattva. Yeah.
Have you ever read Dzogchen Rinpoche's The Song of My Aspirations?
No, I haven't read it.
I'm lending a book I have that has this cat in it. I think you might want to read this Song of My Aspirations, completing my aspirations.
Yeah, that I haven't read. I have to say I love Dzogchen Rinpoche's Song of Awareness. I read that over and over and over again in my classes, and
Is that where the different archetypes disappear? Or the
it's realizing that it's the it talks about like remaining in these states, remain in this, and it's it's a different version of it, I think, but that
this is another thing.
yeah, that is
I'll find it and lend it to you. Okay?
thank you.
Great. Anybody want to see anything else as we start to end up today? Yes, Patricia.
I just want to say how expanding what this is because it's not what Mimi said, it's not dramatic, it's not exciting, because sometimes I tend to make things into a hierarchy. This up here versus this down. It's so reaffirming. And what you said in the beginning about some people will see the light and some people will just know it's there. And what I'm fascinated with is that it's different for me at different times. I will see it, and then other times, maybe for me, when it's the most white, brilliant light, I just say, suddenly, I just say, I know it's in there, but I can't see it. And I'm just fascinated to figure more out about that, just why it goes to one visual place and why it goes to the knowing place.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You guys want to share anything? Anybody want to say anything else? Yes, please. Thank you.
So I'd like to add the perspective of pain and suffering and in the presence, because my whole experience at Taisitu was all about that. And but everything that I'm hearing is the same thing. So it was saying yes to this emotionally activated experience and then holding it in as big an expansive space as I could possibly come up to, and just continuing to say yes, 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 and the energy in my body is just a yes, and whether it's mind or tears or whatever, it's a yes, with this confidence that the place matters, that just whatever I'm feeling is necessary to hold this without idea of outcome. Only to say, in this environment, if I do not say yes, if I do not open as deeply as I possibly can, then the opportunity of this energetic experience of whatever, it doesn't feel divine, but I'm trusting that it is.
Cool. Can you just say a little bit more, what's it like to actually be able to remain, that word she used, to remain holding the pain? What's it like to be able to remain there, to actually remain holding?
Well, I think it was an amazing blessing to be there and have the construction of the place to support it, so that I rarely felt collapse. I don't know how to explain it. It was just solid and quiet and strong and without question, that I just have to sit here, I just have to be here. I'm not going to attach to what my mind is constructing about the meaning of this. I'm just going to be in the space. I don't know if that answers the question really.
Yes. I remember you was talking about mountain-like awareness.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's a good way of going through this mountain-like awareness.
There were these two moments, one where I stood and looked out over the temple into the Hudson and just took in this hugeness, while inside was this excruciating play of historical emotional material, and I'm just in both. And it's so clear to me that I cannot enter into relation. This is the relational piece, that to be in contact with another person would inhibit my capacity to be in the remaining of this. So it required this interior isolation. And then the other one was sitting with my back to the wall and during Taisitu's talks and empowerments, and just feeling that it was critical to my experience that I just be in this and not have social engagement. I don't know, it just feels like there's the interaction out here.
Like a container.
Yeah,
This container holding.
yeah, from the inside out.
Inside out.
And then, of course, the fabulous container of the temple was so perfect as the outside, the inside energy and the outside energy meeting. But that if I was social, then it was gone.
It would be gone.
It would be gone. I couldn't do my contribution.
This mountain-like awareness holding and metabolizing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you so much. See you guys next week. We'll meet again. If you want to come to the thing, please let me know with some immediacy. And I think we'll have a lot of fun. Yes. Great. Could you email me on that? You should email me, because I will forget it in 2 seconds. Email. Thank you, guys. Lorette, thank you so much, hon. Lorette, thank you so much. Great. Hasta la vista. Saying something about Holy Mary.
There's a whole story about that. I'll send it to you.
Then we can push that next time. That's great. Thank you for that.
I thought it was just on Hulu. It's at the Avalon Theater in Daybreak. It's the touring musical Beatles.
Oh, really?
And it's on there till the 6th. It's like 4 times a day. I went yesterday. So this guy, this reporter puts the mic on the young McCartney, and he says, "Tell me, by this time they're just a phenomenon in the whole world. What do you think this is going to do to impact the culture of our civilization?" And he goes, "I can't believe you're asking me this question. It's just a laugh. We're just having a laugh," he said.
So great. And he's still having a laugh.
He's in a profound place. I saw him at National Stadium.
I know.
He was going to spend 3.5 hours. When you're around him, it's just hard.
I know, it's
And
amazing.
Ringo's like that too. Ringo has music recovery.
All the great beings. They're great beings uplifting the world.
The two that are gone are great beings too.
I know. Amazing. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Heidi. I know, Elizabeth was here. She's going to say birthday day. I wanted to give her a gift. Wish her a happy birthday. Thank you guys. Oh.